Hey everybody, it's Dan. Welcome back to the channel. One of the things I love is when my mountain bike is running absolutely silent. I love it when I'm out there on the trail and all I can hear are the tires cutting through the dirt, skipping over the rocks, and I'm just having a blast. So one of the things that really bugs me is when my bike starts developing a noise. And that's exactly what's happened with my Santa Cruz Mega Tower. Now, sometimes you can get creaks coming from your bottom bracket, from the fork, but this time around, turns out the creak is actually coming from the pedals. So I have a pair of Crank Brothers Stamp 7 pedals on my bike that I absolutely love. So today I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily service these Crank Brother pedals so you can get your bike running quietly again. All right, so the Crank Brothers website actually has a really good link to these instructions and everything that you're going to need for this. But a quick rundown of it is you're going to need an 8mm Allen in order to get the pedal off your bike. You're going to want a 2.5mm for the pedal, a small, a #1 Phillips head screwdriver, a narrow flathead screwdriver, like a 1/8 inch or even smaller. You're going to need a paper clip that you have to kind of jimmy rig in order to get out the little bushing that's in there. They recommend using some Loctite, which, to be honest with you, I only do maybe like half the time. I don't do it every single time. Need a little bit of grease. I use lithium grease on most of my stuff. One thing they don't say you need, but I actually use in one spot, is a little bit of lube. Like I'm using my chain lube because it's a dry lube. This actually works really well for one spot that I've actually gotten a small little creak from, and when I use that on a spot that they don't say you have to do, but I did it one time and it like really got rid of a lot of the creaking. And then a paper towel and some isopropyl alcohol to clean things off. All right, so the first thing we got to do obviously is pop off the pedal. So put the 8mm on the back side and then give it a good little pop. There we go. That was actually a little easier than I thought. And then just go ahead and unscrew it. If you don't have any of these little boots on it, then go ahead and pop off. There'll be a little washer on there too, so take that off. All right, so here we are. You can tell that this thing's kind of gone through the ringer here this last season, so we'll give it a good little refresh. First thing to do is go ahead and use your Allen wrench to pop off this plate. These things are not torqued down that tight, so they should be pretty easy to take off. Got one done. Got the other done. And this will just pop right on out. Then use your Allen to go ahead and pop off the screw for the grease port and keep that to the side. Now this is where that paper clip comes in that you have to kind of finagle. Again, how to exactly make this is on the Crank Brothers website, and I'll put a link down below so you can see it. But essentially you just want to get the end of it curved. So you want to pop it in through that hole right there. Go ahead and push that out. Got that. Perfect. And then there is at the very end, it's going to be very hard for me to get a good look into that because of the lighting, but in there is a small little rubber grommet. Got it. Boom. Now here, there's going to be a little rubber, I don't want to say rubber band, but really like another little like O-ring. Go ahead and pull that off and set that down to the side. and then grab the flathead, and you're going to put it down in there, and you're just going to pop this off. There you go, one side done. And the other one done too. And slide this little face plate off. Now, orientation of this is very important. Kind of see that one side is going to be completely flat and the other side is countersunk. That way these countersunk heads just fit right in there. So you want to make sure when you put it back together, the orientation of these is correct. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to clean this off with a paper towel and a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Just get any old grease, any dirt, anything off of it. See, that was slightly dirty, just a little bit. See, it's actually starting to corrode a little bit there, but I think it's still going to be fine once we get it all lubed up. You know, while I'm at it, I might as well just go ahead and clean everything else real quick also. Any dirt that's left in there is a potential to make it creak again, and that is something that I definitely don't want. Go ahead and clean this off too. This is actually where I said before that this base plate, if there's any dirt in there, it can actually create a little bit of a creak too. So I want to go ahead and clean that off. All right, I think that's pretty good. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put everything back on. So let's grab a little bit of grease. I'm going to put it on my brush here. And we're just going to put a little bit of it on. All right, that is moving very freely now. I do like that. I'm going to put the plate back on. Now, when we put these back on, you actually want it to be at a 90-degree angle. So you want them to go opposite ways. So if this is going, you know, forwards and backwards, this is going to go left and right. And you just pop them right back in. Just like that. Hear that little pop? You're good to go. So this is the one thing that Crank Brothers doesn't say you have to do, but I found that it actually helps, is putting a little bit of lube. I mean, you can use Tri-Flow. I use a little bit of like my chain lube just because it tends to dry off pretty easily. So I put just a little bit of it right there. And I mean, just like a drop or two. And I'll do the same thing on the other side as well. And then that'll keep this all nice and squeaky free. I'll go ahead and just dry off the excess right there. And then we're going to put that little ring back on. All right, now just put a little bit of lube on the axle, a little bit on the end. Slide the bearing back on. Water heater going off in the background. Sorry about that. Grease the bearing liberally. Don't put on too much. I have put on too much in the past and it actually inhibited its actions. A little grease on the end as well. Then you put that little rubber grommet and put some grease on the outside of that. And then slide that back in. All right. Almost done. Put just a drop of Loctite. That was a pretty big drop. All right, and then again, maybe we'll try a little less Loctite this time. There you go. That was like a micro drop. Tightening those up. Clean that off. And then go ahead and put the screw for our grease port back in. And that hole right there. And that is it. We're done. All lubed, and in theory, should be all quiet. And now for the real test. Did it get rid of the noise? It did. Check that out. I jumped on that before. It was all creaky. That creak is gone. I think that's a win. All right, and there you go. Quick, fast, and easy way to refresh your Crank Brothers pedals. You'll get a lot more life out of them if you do this on some regular basis, like maybe once or twice a year. Keep them running smoothly, keep them running quietly. I do like a quiet bike, as quiet as I can get it. So thank you everybody for joining me, and I'll see you next time out on the trails.